Good day. Welcome to today's lesson in comprehension. The topic is reading myth, legends, fables, and fairy tales. Say it again. Reading myth, legends, fables, and fairy tales. That is great. Can you read out our lesson objectives for the day? One is to explain myth, legend, fairy tale, and fable. The second one, discuss their respective features. And lastly, read a story to answer questions on the topic. Read the objectives again. Explain myth, legend, fairy tale, and fable. Discuss their respective features. Then read a story to answer questions on the topic. That's good. I will begin by asking you this question. Have you ever read a story? What type was it? Do you know the types of stories you read? We shall find out today. The stories we read are divided into myths, legends, fables, and fairy tales. Now, what are myths? What do you think are myths? Myths are traditional stories passed down about how or why something came to be. There are what? Traditional stories that are passed down from generation to generation on how or why something came to be. They are perspectives of a group of people. They are perspectives of a group of people about the origin of the world. They are specifically perspectives of people, that is, people's view on the origin of the world. Myths are actually traditional stories, and they are passed on from one generation to the other, but specifically on how the world came into being. Let us consider this example. These are pictures of gods in the Greek myth on the creation of the universe. Gods in the Greek myth on the creation of the universe. Greek holds different myths on creation. Let us consider this one. Can you read with me? The Greek myth on creation goes this way. The universe was initially chaos, that is, was built from nothing. And from that nothingness, that is, from the chaos, came out Gaia, that is earth, Nyx, that is night, and Hemera, day. They were born from that nothingness. Then Uranus, the sky god, later married Gaia, that is earth. They had 12 powerful children called Titans, who also gave birth to fill up the world. Another form of story is legend. Legend. Who is a legend? Someone who has done something commendable in the past and is being recognized. It is called a legend. So when we talk of legends, they are stories that are passed orally from generation to generation, usually about real people and events. They are also stories that are passed orally from one generation to the other, just like the myth. But why the myth about how the world came into being? Legends are about people and events in the past that were prominent. And one thing about legends is that the stories are mostly exaggerated. That is, they are being made to look more than they actually happened. They are exaggerated, presented bigger than they actually were. Look at this picture. Can it tell you anything about the Yoruba creation story? Yoruba's history of the earth creation. Can it tell you anything? This is Oduduwa pouring sand to fill up the water that covered the earth. And this is the hand he brought with him to scatter the sand to fill up the water. This is the chain through which he descended. This is the hand in Ile-Ife. Here is the story proper. Can you read with me? Oduduwa is one of the deities responsible for the creation of the earth. Obatala was sent by Olodumare, Lord of the skies, to finish the mission of creating the earth, which was filled everywhere with water. But he got drunk from palm wine on the way and slept. Oduduwa, being wise, took all the items given to him, and the items were a hand, chain, and sand. Upon reaching the earth through the chain, he poured the sand through the hand that scattered it to fill the water for dry land to emerge. He landed in Ile-Ife, which is considered the spiritual heart of the Yorubas. There is something I want you to learn about this story. It is actually a legend, but in the story you can still find elements of myth because it captures Yoruba's perception on the origin of the earth. At the same time, the story has come alive because of the legend Oduduwa. What I'm saying is that sometimes within a legend or within a myth you can find legend, or within a legend you can find myth. It depends on how you approach the story. But this story is treated as Yoruba legend. Thank you. Another form of story we're considering is fables. What are fables? Fables are stories that are orally passed. Orally passed, that means they are passed by word of mouth, just like legends and myths. But they have animals, plants or forces of nature as characters who will talk and act like human beings. These stories aim at teaching a lesson. They specifically aim at teaching lessons. Examples are the ant and the grasshopper, the ant and the grasshopper, the ant and the bird. White tortoise has a dented shell. If you can read the story of why tortoise has a dented shell, you see that tortoise tricked some animals, but at the end he broke his shell. Fables are stories that are orally passed. They have animals or inanimate objects as characters, and they aim at teaching lessons. The next form of story we're considering is the fairy tale. Fairy tale. What is fairy tale? What are fairy tales? These are stories for children involving supernatural or magical elements like witches, elves, spiritual animals. These are stories for children. They are stories for children. They are about supernatural beings. Examples are Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. These are stories you read, so I don't need to bother you. Thank you. Let us now consider the features that are common to fables, myths, legends, fairy tales. Features common to myths, legends, fables, and fairy tales. One of them is characters. Characters. People, animals, supernatural beings, or plants that are used in the stories make up the characters. Another is setting. That is the time and place of the story. Every story must have setting, time, and place. Another one is the plot. That is a meaningful storyline. How the story is meant to go, how it begins and how it ends. Every story written must have these things, be it a legend, myth, fable, or fairy tales. So take note. Another feature is that of theme. Theme. This is the central idea of a story. The central idea of a story. Every story must have a powerful theme. Another one is that stories are didactic or didactic. This means they teach lessons. They must teach us one lesson or the other. Another is the structure. That is the arrangement. You see stories being arranged in sentences, paragraphs, and chapters. And one thing about them is that they use the past tense. The past tense. Or you can use the simple present tense. The activity part of the lesson. Can you read with me? Instruction. Pay attention to this story. Read with your teacher. Answer the questions that follow and submit as Word document on Class Dojo. Read again. Pay attention to this story. Read with your teacher. Answer the questions that follow and submit as Word document on Class Dojo. The title, An Answer and the Portal of Wisdom. An Answer and the Portal of Wisdom. One day, an answer collected all the wisdom in the world and decided to keep it all in a large pot for himself. He said, I have all the wisdom of the world for myself. At least that was what he thought, being such a greedy person. I take it again. One day, an answer collected all the wisdom in the world and decided to keep it all in a large pot for himself. He said, I have all the wisdom of the world for myself. At least that was what he thought, being such a greedy person. An answer then tied the pot of wisdom around his neck with a strong rope and laid the pot hang in front of him. But then he was afraid that someone would find the pot of wisdom and steal it. What should I do with my pot of wisdom? I take again. Anansi then tied the pot of wisdom around his neck with a strong rope and laid the pot hang in front of him. But then he was afraid that someone would find the pot of wisdom and steal it. What should I do with my pot of wisdom? He thought, and at last he said, I shall hide the pot on top of the tallest tree in the forest. So he searched the forest until he found the tallest tree, which happened to be the thorny sea-cutting tree, and brought the pot of wisdom to the tree. Again, he thought, and at last he said, I shall hide the pot on top of the tallest tree in the forest. So he searched the forest until he found the tallest tree, which happened to be the thorny sea-cutting tree, and brought the pot of wisdom to the tree. While Anansi was trying to climb the thorny sea-cutting tree, his son was watching him. Father, what are you doing? Anansi said, well, I have in this clay pot all the wisdom of the world, and I'm going to hang it on top of the tallest tree away from everybody. Then I will be the wisest in the whole wide world. Again, while Anansi was trying to climb the thorny sea-cutting tree, his son was watching him. Father, what are you doing? Anansi said, well, I have in this clay pot all the wisdom of the world, and I'm going to hang it on the top of the tallest tree away from everybody. Then I will be the wisest in the whole wide world. I have an idea, said his son. Why not hang the pot behind you instead of in front of you? Then you will climb the tree. Well, the sly one, Anansi hung the pot behind him, and to his surprise he climbed to the top of the tree with his pot. Again, I have an idea, said the son. Why not hang the pot behind you instead of in front of you? Then you will climb the tree. Well, the sly one, Anansi hung the pot behind him, and to his surprise he climbed to the top of the tree with the pot. Finally, Anansi sat on the branch of the tree, holding the pot of wisdom. I thought I had all the wisdom in the world, but my own son has wisdom not in my pot. Then he made a statement that we still use today. No one person can have all the wisdom in the world. On his way down, he dropped the pot and it smashed into many pieces and scattered all the wisdom all over the world. Again, finally, Anansi sat on a branch of the tree holding the pot of wisdom. I thought I had all the wisdom in the world, but my own son has wisdom not in my pot. Then he made a statement that we still use today. No one person can have all the wisdom in the world. On his way down, he dropped the pot and it smashed into many pieces and scattered all the wisdom all over the world. Questions. Question 1. Access this site and do the activity given. Submit your scores on Class Dojo. Please, I'm not posting this link on Class Dojo. You have to copy the link here properly, copy it correctly. This link, I cannot post it on Class Dojo. I will not post it on Class Dojo, so look at it properly and copy it as expected. Number 2. What form of story is the passage? The passage read, what form of story is it? Fable, myth, legend. Explain why. Number 3. Describe the setting of the story. Describe the setting of the story. Number 4. List out the characters in the story. List out the characters in the story. Number 5. State 2 themes from the story. State 2 themes from the story. From number 2 to 5, type it and submit as Word document to me. But for number 1, access this site and do the activity given. Submit your scores on Class Dojo. You are expected to copy this site to your browser, then do the activity, do the quiz, so that you submit the scores to me. Thank you.